Shocker down under. Australia returns its right-wing incumbent prime minister to power.
I have always believed in miracles.
How the surprise result is being compared to Donald Trump's win in the U.S. Defying all odds, Australia's prime minister and leader of the Liberal Party has been re-elected. The Liberal Party there is similar to the Conservatives here in Canada, and the victory is being compared to President Trump's win over Hillary Clinton in 2016.
This is the best country in the world.
Scott Morrison's campaign focused on protecting jobs over climate change and took a tough stance on immigration, similar to Trump. All bets were on the Labour Party to win, but as Mike Drolet reports, a late Conservative wave dominated.
How good is Australia?
Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison was equal part ecstatic and bewildered as he spoke to his supporters. The incumbent leader who virtually no one picked to win, save for, as it turns out, the voters themselves. Earlier in the day, he appeared glum.
You need to keep calling the ground.
Going through the motions.
I'm going to secure people's jobs for the future. That's what I'm going to do.
While his opponent in the left-wing Labour Party couldn't conceal his glee. And by every measurement, Bill Shorten was supposed to win in a landslide. The opposition Labour Party not only led in the polls since the campaign began in April, but in every poll over the last 2 years.
I mean, the current Liberal government is completely hopeless, shambles, no leadership. I mean, if we vote them in again, it's shame on all of us.
So what happened? Prime Minister Morrison campaigned on jobs and won by appealing to suburban blue-collar workers.
It has been those Australians who have worked hard every day. They have their dreams, they have their aspirations. To get a job, to get an apprenticeship, to start a business. These are the quiet Australians who have won a great victory tonight.
A victory that will no doubt be dissected across the globe over the coming weeks to analyze how the polls got it so wrong.
Our breaking news overseas, where millions of people are bracing for the results after voting on the future of Europe. CNN's Melissa Bell. Melissa, the early exit poll results have the far-right party celebrating there.
Here in France, but across Europe, there have been, Anna, tonight substantial gains for right-wing, populist and largely Eurosceptic parties. Now, here in France, what was so interesting is that, in a sense, the battle was really crystallized by Marine Le Pen on one hand and Emmanuel Macron on the other. Remember that 2 years ago, the French president came in and totally transformed the political landscape here in France, obliterating the parties that had dominated over the course of the last few decades. This was the first electoral test 2 years on in an entirely redrawn electoral landscape of him, a pro-European liberal trying to pursue that agenda, and on the other, Marine Le Pen, more Eurosceptic, right-wing, populist, with a very different sort of vision of what Europe and France should be. A retreat behind borders being one of her main themes. Tonight, Emmanuel Macron, who had invested so much time and energy and personal political capital in this particular campaign, failed in his bid to beat Marine Le Pen. According to those exit polls, Anna, her party appears to be on about 24%. Emmanuel Macron's on 22%.
Wow, very interesting results there in France. What about the trends we're seeing in results coming out from the other European countries tonight?
I think one of the really interesting trends beyond that breakthrough for a number of those right-wing populist parties are the Greens, those who built their campaigns and their parties on the question of environmental protection and fighting climate change. They have tonight made substantial gains, once again at the expense of the traditional parties across Europe. In Germany, they came in second with 20%, again, according to exit polls. Here in France, they scored 12%, coming in as the third party and far beating the traditional parties of right and left. It's been an extraordinary night on many fronts and suggests the very many different ways in which the European political transformation is happening at that landscape level, for the populists in particular, really shaking things up, and in a number of different countries making substantial gains tonight. Anna.
All right, Melissa Bell in Paris for us. Thank you.